Welcome back to Cedar Porch Homestead. I'm Courtney and today we're talking macarons. We try to instill doing it yourself, because why go buy something when you can just do it yourself? And part of that is you're able to do it with better ingredients, maybe less sugar, which is what we like to do. And so today Ashlyn's going to show you how she made some chocolate macarons.
Yeah, with chocolate peppermint ganache.
There you go.
Hello, today we'll be making chocolate macarons with a chocolate peppermint ganache. So first we need to sift together our powdered sugar, and the reason you sift it is to get it all fine and all the chunks out of it. So next I did my almond flour, and it took a little longer because the grains were thicker and I had to get all the clumps out. So you just kind of scrape it against the sifter. And now I did my cacao powder. It called for cocoa powder, but I used cacao powder because I already put the sugar in there and I thought that it didn't need more sweetness. So now you just mix. Now you're going to take your mixer and put the whisk attachment on there, and you're going to take your egg and separate the egg white from the egg yolk because it called for the egg white. And my favorite way to do it is just like this. It gets rid of all the egg whites, but it doesn't break the yolk. You just set your egg yolks to the side, and I'll show you what you do with that later. Now you add a pinch of cream of tartar. Now you just mix, and when it becomes a little bit frothy, as you can see right here, you will start to add in your sugar. And right here, I am just scraping the sugar off of the sides of the bowl because I kind of got the sugar everywhere. Now, you're just going to mix it until it becomes stiff, just like this. Now you're going to add in your dry ingredients a little at a time just to make sure you don't overdo it. And you want to fold it in because it doesn't make all of the air bubbles that like mixing it in would do. Add a little more. folding it in again, and I think I added too much to mine. Now you take out your tray and your piping bag, and I am using a silicone macaron mat. You can use parchment paper, but this just gives me the guidelines. And I had my mom help me out for doing the piping bag just because it's harder than I thought it would be. Once you have your piping bag all situated, you're going to pipe in a upward motion. That way the batter goes out, not up. Now you bang your tray on the counter because that helps get all the air bubbles out and get the peaks down. Now onto the ganache. You are going to want to add in your heavy whipping cream and put it on the heat just until it starts boiling, and then take it off of the heat. And you're also going to want to add in your chocolate now. I made the mistake and I used 0.4 ounces instead of 4 ounces, and I realized that later and I fixed it. And then you're also going to add in your peppermint extract. And again, I didn't use enough, and I add that in later as well. Now you just mix, and at this moment I realized that I didn't add enough chocolate, so I just went ahead and added the correct amount of chocolate, just minus the 0.4 ounces. This is where I also added the peppermint extract. The recipe only called for 2 egg whites, so we have the yolks, and you know what you do with them? You give them to the dog.
Come here, Reese. Yeah, that's a good girl. Look what I got. Look what I got.
The recipe said let them sit for 45 to 60 minutes. I chose only 45 because they were already the way I wanted them. Now you just put them in the oven, and I put them in the oven for 12 minutes, but I added too much flour and they cracked, and the shells were also hollow on the inside. Now you take them out of the oven, and to make sure they are done, you just kind of pick one up, and if it doesn't stick to the mat, then they're done. After you let them sit for a little bit and cool off, you transfer them to a wire rack to cool them completely to get ready for the ganache. I tried to be all fancy with this and use a tip, but with the ganache you have to make sure that you melt everything, and a chocolate piece got stuck in the middle and clogged it. This is the finished piece. They were delicious. Thank you so much for watching. A few things I didn't get to mention in the voiceover. First, the eggs I used were from our chickens, so organic. The powdered sugar, I used real powdered sugar just because it's kind of chemistry that you need it, but we made sure that it was organic, so like everything we used was organic. The ganache, totally no sugar. The chocolate chips we used were sweetened with stevia, not sugar, so that's good. And also with the ganache, I learned I need to make it right before the piping process because it was dried by the time I was using it, and I had to reheat it and make a huge mess with it. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button, and the notification button to make sure you get notified every time we make new videos. Thank you. What is he up to? Dad, what are you doing?
Don't judge me, they're delicious.